River, and in that atmosphere, in that situation, Arjuna has to concentrate, and what Bhagavan is telling, he has to listen. It is not easy job. It is not easy job. But for us, it is just given in a platter. We are sitting in our own home, and there is no war here, unless one is fighting at home. There is no war. Now nobody, there is no fear of being killed, or there is no tension of killing somebody. There is no effort to protect ourselves. In the comforts of the home and in the loving atmosphere of the family members, and we are chanting Bhagavad Gita. This is no doubt a great blessing. We must have done lot of punya karma. We may not be knowing, we may not recognize, but surely we have done lot of punya karma in the past life to get human birth. And again, we are able to chant this Bhagavad Gita. After getting human life, also there are so many people, they are doing different things, and Thanksgiving, kill all the turkeys and eat them. And that is called, that means celebration. For us, celebration means creating some harm or bringing some harm to some people. Then we enjoy. Our enjoyment, our celebration is somebody's failure, somebody's death. We celebrate. If some party loses, then we celebrate. If some some team loses, then we celebrate. If both the team will win, they will do equal, then we will not enjoy. Suppose my child is keeping A grade and other neighbor's child also keeping A grade, then it is not a celebration. If other neighbor's child is keeping C grade and my child is keeping A grade, then it is a celebration. I can do that one. If everybody gets to Stanford University, we will not celebrate. But if my child is getting admission in Stanford and all others in the county colleges, then I will celebrate. So our celebration is at the cost of somebody. But now that kind of atmosphere is not there. We are just chanting out of love. That, oh Lord, you had given to Arjuna. Arjuna was he was the guinea pig. He was it is not that Lord Sri Krishna was experimenting on Arjuna, but anyhow, he told to Arjuna, and we are the beneficiary. If it will be told, okay, you want to listen Bhagavad Gita, prepare yourself, take bow and arrow and go to battle of Kurukshetra and stand there and in front of all the enemies and listen to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. How many of us will go? I don't think that we are ready. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna has not given that hard work to us. He has made it so simple. It is recorded, Bhagavan Vyasdeva has written, and now we are able to, through Puja Gurudev, now it has come to us, and we are able to sit on the sofa and in front of the TV, and we can, of course nobody is watching TV now, but we are able to chant. This is a great blessing. If we don't recognize, then that is unfortunate, but surely it is a great blessing. And I bow down to each one of you because God, Lord Sri Krishna, has inspired you. Puja Gurudev has inspired you to chant this one. So it is not an ordinary thing. It's not that there is some kind of impetus, there is some kind of push, there is some kind of pressure. I will not tell pressure, there is some kind of inspiration is there from within. That's why we're sitting. And we will chant the chapter 1 to chapter 6 we are going to chant. So this Bhagavad Gita is the Gita. It is called Gita. It is not called Gita. There is a word called Gita and there is a word called Gita. Gita, Gita. Gita is a S-O-N-G, Gita. Gita is S-U-N-G. S-U-N-G, Gita. That means this is told by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has not created this one. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has not created Bhagavad Gita. It is sung by him. He is just a messenger. And he is telling that to Arjuna. Of course, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. And but he's telling in the avatar, not in the Rama avatar, not in Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, but in the only in the Krishna avatar, he is telling that to Arjuna. Okay, Krishna as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, as an avatar, he's telling is, but this knowledge is from the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord has taken avatar so many times, but in the Krishna avatar, he told that knowledge to Arjuna verbally. Okay. Then one may tell that why it is told in the battlefield. Nobody teaches in the battlefield. We don't learn mathematics and physics in the exam hall. We don't learn there. We learn before and then go there. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna is not that. It is just like residency. We may have studied for 4 years in the medical college, but it is of no use. If somebody tells that I don't want to do residency because I have studied everything, I get good grades and everything, why I'll go to these different words and different peasants? But it is of no use. Unless one has gone through residency and directly dealt with the patients, that learning is incomplete. Nobody will give a knife, not knife, one will not allow that person to do the surgery because that person will only kill others because he has not gone through the residency. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna told that no, that means our school is one thing, then the practical thing is another thing. It is not enough that one has done the schooling, that's why one has studied in the Oxford University, then Bradley University, or I don't know what other Stanford University. That's why one will be very successful in life. One will be very happy. There is no guarantee. Suppose one has done PhD in 4 subjects, and then he got married. Then he had a child, and now child is just 3 months old, and child is crying, and then he is non-stop crying. At that time, dad will tell, "Beta, you know I have done PhD in 6 subjects. Keep quiet. It will not work." Child will not keep quiet because dad has done PhD. At that time, it doesn't work at all. It is he has done PhD. That's why the wife will always take care of him. No, or people will respect. No, unless schooling is a different thing and knowledge is different thing. Knowledge really helps us how to live in the world, and for that purpose, the universe is the university. If you have not learned in the university of the universe, then we'll fail in life. We'll fail in life. Just by going to school and college really doesn't mean anything, and stuffing our brain and then vomiting on a particular day, which is called exam day. It really is not enough. It is not enough. Yes, of course, it is required for taking care of the Madhya Pradesh. In our body, the Madhya Pradesh will be taken care. Madhya Pradesh means the tummy, by going to school and college, because you can buy pizzas, lasagnas. It is, but to be happy, it is this knowledge, the knowledge which Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna, that only is useful in life. And it has to be, both are going together. That means hands-on work. Learn by being in that field. So Arjuna was in the battlefield, and which is the most difficult situation. At that time, we lose our thinking ability. It is to sit in the couch and talk philosophy is very easy, or to go to an ashram and listen to somebody, it is very easy. But to be in the battlefield and to listen, that needs strength. That needs strength. So Arjuna had that strength. That's why Bhagavan told, had that strength, and which is will really learn more in difficult situations. Difficult situations means where our ego doesn't like a situation. In that situation, if you learn something, then that is called real learning. But when you are pampered and everything is there and all the luxuries and all the comforts are there, and then we put one leg over the other and have a cup of coffee, and in one hand and other hand the phone is there, and we are talking physics, chemistry. That learning is no good at all. It is not going to help. Particularly the science of life is not going to help, cannot be learned that way. It has to be learned when you are working, when you are dealing with others. It can be learned there. It cannot be learned before. You must have seen that how before marriage, how there is so good relationship, so much of love is there, so much of understanding is there, so much of togetherness is there between that boy and the girl before marriage. But after marriage, you will see that everything changes. Everything changes. It is not anymore enjoyable. All the time difference in opinion, fight, his parents, her parents, the children. Then somebody told that before the marriage, and they called boyfriend and girlfriend before the marriage. After the marriage, they are called husband and wife. After the first child is born, they are called as mom and dad. And do you know when the second child is born, what they are called? If anybody knows, you can raise your hand and tell. The opposite is joke. Actually, one becomes a referee. Keep there, stay there. You stay in that room, let that other person stay in that room. Because nobody listens to us. Nobody listens. And our entire life till they go to college or something, we have to do only refereeing. Because nobody accepts the other one. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjuna in the battlefield. He could have told him before. He would have told him before, maybe 5, 6 or 1 week Bhagavad Gita Saptaha or Bhagavad Gita Yajna, and then he would have told, and then go to the battlefield. Why he has to go there and tell? Because it will be learned only when we are amidst situations. That learning is real learning. Other learning is luxury. It is luxury. It is not really learning. It is just entertainment. We go to movie and we go to satsang, different satsang. We learn. That is very nice. But real learning, when we listen to somebody, we listen to the words. When we read a book, we read the letters. Scripture, we read the letters. But the meaning of those words, meaning of those letters will be revealed to us when we use it. Otherwise, it's just letters that is written in pen and paper on a piece of paper, or somebody says just words for us. It doesn't really mean anything. There are this 5 Pandava brothers. Yudhishthira is the eldest one. When they went to first time to the class, at that time the teacher, the first day's lesson started with Satyam Vada Krodham Ma Guru. Satyam Vada Krodham Ma Guru. And the teacher was Krupacharya. Krupacharya told them that this is the lesson, first day's lesson. Satyam Vada Krodham Ma Guru. Satyam Vada means speak the truth. Krodham Ma Guru means don't get angry. This was the first day's lesson, not ABCD. Okay. Then after teaching, the teacher asked, and everybody raised their hand, and Bhima raised both the hands. See, Bhima is the dullest of them, and Bhima is he will only eat and hit. That is his job. He doesn't know anything else. He will eat and then hit somebody. Because he was so big, his hormones are really going wild. So he was just hitting somebody. Then, when he raised both the hands, Krupacharya was very happy that if the host student who is considered as host, if that child is able to answer, then really the teacher is really good, because he was able to communicate. Okay, like in the Bal Vihar class also. Some children, they cannot chant Bhagavad Gita. If one day they will chant, so then teachers feel very happy that, this child could chant Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so all the brothers, Krupacharya asked, and everybody repeated whatever the teacher has told. That is Satyam Vada Krodham ma kuru. Krodham ma kuru means don't get angry, don't get upset. But Yudhishthira didn't raise his hand. So Krupacharya, Yudhishthira is the most brilliant among all the brothers. He is very smart, he is very alert, and his understanding capacity is maximum. But he didn't raise his hand. Then Krupacharya was surprised that why Yudhishthira could not, even Bhima could tell why Yudhishthira didn't raise his hand. Then the second day, revision of the first class, previous day's class, everybody told except Yudhishthira. Then now Yudhishthira, Krupacharya has some suspicion. I think there's something wrong with Yudhishthira. Then he told to Bhishmacharya, because Bhishma Pitamaha was in charge of all the Pandava brothers. Then private coaching to Yudhishthira. All other brothers, they were learning the class, but he was asked to have some special class. And he came, Yudhishthira. Then the teacher will tell once, and Yudhishthira has to repeat thrice. Teacher will tell, Satyam vada, Krodham ma kuru. Then Yudhishthira will repeat, Satyam vada, Krodham ma kuru. Satyam vada, Krodham ma kuru. Satyam vada, Krodham ma kuru. Okay. In this way, it went for 7 days. After 7th day, Krupacharya asked, Yudhishthira, did you understand? He said, no. And he got so angry, Krupacharya got so angry, so mad. And he had got high opinion regarding Yudhishthira, but he's not able to tell all other brothers they're going ahead. And he's stuck. And he cannot go ahead if one child is not able to understand, because he wants really him to learn. He got very upset. He started hitting the floor, and he started pulling his hair, and he broke the table, and his eyes become red, and he started sweating because he is very upset. That why this boy, when a parrot can learn, if a tape recorder can repeat, but this Yudhishthira is worse than a tape recorder. He was very mad. At that time, Yudhishthira told, Sir, I learned. Oh, Guru, I learned. Then Krupacharya stopped. He said, how can you learn? Now already it is there, 10 days are gone, you are not able to understand. What made you to understand just in 1 second today? Then Yudhishthira told, Oh Guru, with all due respect, Satyam Vada was never a problem, because I never tell untruth, which is exactly opposite to us. Okay, I never tell the untruth. Always I tell the truth. So it was to understand that it was not a problem at all. But Krodham Mahakuru, that don't get upset. I have never faced any situation where I am supposed to get upset. I have never come across that situation. So I didn't know what is the meaning of not getting upset. But today, when Guru Maharaj is really angry and mad, at that time there is no anger in me. Only respect and respect and respect. So I feel that I have learned. So this is a learning. Learning is not reading a book or giving a lecture. You're not giving a lecture. It is if one can, when a situation arises, when a situation comes, it knocks at the door unexpected. At that time, if you can, whatever you have learned, if you are able to practice, when somebody is blaming us, somebody is telling a lie to us, somebody is trying to harm us, if at that time we can maintain compassion, that means you have learned compassion. If when our name and fame is at stake, at that time if you are able to tell the truth, that means you are truthful. Okay. When the temptations are galore, you are able to stand against that one and do the right thing, then we have learned how to overcome temptations. So learning really happens in a situation. When the situation comes, then only we learn. Otherwise, it is just reading a book. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna told this Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This and this war was not between like India and Pakistan, no, for Pakistan, India and China. It is between the two families. They are staying together. They are staying together. Okay, in the same house they are staying. They are eating together. They are playing together. They are studying together. Same gurus and same person is taking care. In the house, it went to that extent where a war has to take place. War has to take place. Never will find this kind of situation. Of course, India and Pakistan, we are one country, and that example doesn't arise because we are one family, we are from one country. That to go to that extent where one is ready to kill the other members of the family, it will never happen in the world anymore. Mahabharat war, whatever has happened at that time, we'll never see in the entire creation for any time to come. It was so severe, so bad. Now, you may, and it is there in the Mahabharata, in this Bhagavad Gita is given in the Mahabharata, in the Bhishma Parva. Bhishma Parva is the sixth Parva. There are 18 Parvas are there, 18 cantos. In the sixth canto of Mahabharata is called the Bhishma Parva. In that, from 23rd chapter to 40th chapter is Bhagavad Gita. Is a Bhagavad Gita. Remember to whom it is told. It is told to Arjuna. Arjuna was the most brilliant person. When Draupadi, before she got married to the five Pandavas, in the previous life, she had prayed to Lord Shiva for marriage. She did a lot of tapasya. And when Lord Shiva was pleased, at that time, she asked to Lord Shiva that what do you want? Lord Shiva asked to Draupadi that I want to marry somebody who is dharmic, that means righteous, who is strong, the strongest person, most intelligent person, most beautiful person, and who is with all the noble qualities. And Lord Shiva told that you will not find in one person like that. You will not find in one person. That means he has to marry 5 people. Only in 5 different people. So that's why she got married to 5 people. So it was not that it was imposed on her. People tell that, okay, I think Drupad Maharaj didn't do the right thing. No, she has asked for that. It will not be in one person, it will not be there. That's why she got all these qualities. They are born as different individuals, and then she was married. Now this Draupadi, she was disrobed by her own relatives, by her from the own family members in front of all the great people. And this disrobe of Draupadi is removing the arrogance, because she was extremely arrogant. She was very proud that all my husbands are the top husbands. One is a doctor. One, if like we get married to a person who is earning a lot, then how we feel so proud that my husband is a doctor, or he is a police officer, not police officer, like a senator or something. Not Trump, some senator. Like how we feel proud if we have somebody is my husband, or somebody. Of course, wife always feels very proud of the husband. If the husband is highly educated and earning a lot, then feels proud. Draupadi was feeling very proud. So her pride was broken on that day. But at the same time, she was also good. In her heart, also she was good. Both the things. Pride was there. At the same time, she was devoted to Lord Sri Krishna. When she was disrobed and she saw that nobody is able to help, neither Bhishma Pitama is helping, nor Dhritarashtra is helping, nor her 5 husbands who are all talented and they can destroy the entire world. Everybody is just putting the head down, that nobody is able to do anything. At that time, she took the shelter of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. This is a great thing. When we take the help of the Lord, then we get the real help. Our people who are around us, if we depend on them for help, surely we'll be betrayed. A situation will come, we'll be betrayed. When we are on the, like we sick, like people, it's a coronavirus or something, all other members, they don't come even nearby. They don't come near. They don't, you not go. You go, you go. We are not going near you. No, nobody can help. Nobody can help. But Bhavan is there always to help. So he became the, when she told that, oh Lord, you are Dwarakadisha, no help came. When she prayed to Lord Sri Krishna, oh Lord, you are the Antaryami, you are the indweller of all beings. Then immediately that was the right kind of prayer, that Lord is within. Lord is not somewhere in the Kashi or Vrindavan or Mathura. He is there in our heart. When Draupadi prayed that way, Bhavan Sri Krishna immediately appeared there. He was there. And he became the sari. He is everywhere. He became the sari. See, he didn't, Lord Sri Krishna could have sent the Sudarshan Chakra and cut his head, or Dushasana, because Dushasana was disturbing. But he didn't do that. He didn't harm anybody. At the same time, everybody learned a lesson. Draupadi learned a lesson, and Dushasana, he was showing his that, oh, he can do anything, can misbehave. What happened to him? At the end, he was just pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and how much exercise and bodybuilding he has done and weightlifting, how much one will pull the sari? At the end, he just felt exhausted. If you are surprised that Dushasana, why he fell down? He could not, he got tired of pulling the sari. And see, everybody, whoever has done any mistake, they were penalized. Karna, Duryodhana, even Bhishma Pitamaha, everybody learned a lesson. Everyone learned a lesson. But Bhagavan did that without teaching to anybody. Everybody learned. He didn't teach anybody. Like how we tell, I will teach you a lesson. Nobody learns from us. But actually learning happens on our own. So everybody learned a lesson. So how Draupadi took the help of Lord Sri Krishna. Here comes our topic is today's Asakti to Bhakti. Asakti means a kind of relationship. Asakti. We tell there are two words in Sanskrit. One is called Samparka and the other is called Asakti. Both are relationship. Asakti is a relationship and Samparka is also a relationship. But Asakti is a false relationship, is a wrong relationship. See, God is in us and the ego is also in us. The divine is in us and the devil, our ahamkara, is there. In the BMI chart, the divine is the Om and the devil is the PFT. Both are there. Now, with whom we want to maintain relationship? With the divine or with the devil? If now we are the worshippers of the ahamkara. We have put the ahamkara on the pedestal and doing dhyana, avahana, asana, padyam. Every day we are trying to ahamkaram dhyayami, then avahayami, asanam samarpayami. Every day we are doing the worship of ahamkara. And not only we are telling ahamkara is ours, now ahamkara is me. It has gone to that extent where you are telling that I am that PFT, I am that ahamkara. Ahamkara is like a shadow. When we stand in front of the mirror, a reflection is created. We can see the reflection. We can take a picture of the reflection. That reflection is also moving the hands and talking and smiling and crying. Anything that reflection can do. But actually there is nobody inside. Even though we can take a picture, there is nobody. Picture will come, nice picture will come. But actually there is nobody in that mirror. It is just a false thing. But we think that we are that false thing. We cannot see ourselves. How much we may try, we cannot see ourselves at all. And then whatever mirror is showing, we are telling ourselves to be that. Nobody has seen himself or herself. Nobody has seen. Nobody can see too. But we tell that whatever the mirror is showing, I am that. But actually, we don't know what the mirror is showing. I don't know. But we consider ourselves to be that. Or whatever come in the picture or in a celluloid screen, I'll tell that I am that. This, I do not know really who I am. I am considering myself who I am not, and also I am considering the things and people who are not really, who don't really belong to me as mine. This mistake we are all committing in our life. Who really don't belong to us, we tell that they are ours, and who we are not, to that entity we are telling that I am that. Really, if we tell, you may not like, and it may appear a little harsh, but actually nobody belongs to us. We may tell that, okay, my beta, my beti, my son, my husband, my wife, my this and my that. Actually, nobody belongs to anybody. Everybody is born independently, and God has created. We have not created anybody. We cannot create anybody. We cannot create anybody. It is not that we have put the eyes and we have put the nose, we have put the teeth, we have put the hair. No, we have not done anything. But which we have not created at all, we consider that entity, that person as ours, as mine. We try to take ownership. And this is called stealing, daylight stealing. Somebody else has created. But when he created, he don't show off at all. He created inside the mother's tummy how the hands are created, legs are created, and they are in the right place. Suppose the hand will be there on the head, on the top of the head. There is a big problem. But he has not done that. And he has created everybody different, look different, behavior different, thinking different, so that nobody will compete with another person. Because competition is only with likes. Competition cannot be with two different people with different abilities. Competition is not done. If one is doing that, that is called jealousy. That's not competition. So that's why God made us all unique, so that we will not be going into that competition and then the compare. We will not do that. But even we will compete with an ant also. We will compete with everybody. We are competing with the trees. Take their food and then swallow everything. Then we are competing with animals. Their place and their food we take and we eat everything. And that is the acme of ignorance. So whenever we consider ourselves who we are not, and we maintain relationship with whom we have no connection at all, then that is a sign of delusion. Delusion. I tell that, okay, this is mine, that is not mine, in this manner. And whenever our relationship is delusory in nature, we'll have a lot of problems. The other day, somebody called and told that, Swamiji, do you have a place where I can go and work? I told him, why you want to go and work somewhere else? Do you have the house? Yes, I have the house. Do you have a job? I told him, yes, I have that job. Then why you want to go and work somewhere else? No, because Swamiji, the children are not listening to me. My wife, she always gets upset with me. And I'm tired of this life. But you are telling that one day, oh, children are doing job and they passed from this university, that university, and wife is the most beautiful one. One day you are telling like so nicely, what happened today? No, Swamiji, it is all Maya. Now it is Maya. When we are suffering, then only it is Maya. When everything is going okay and wife is smiling, children are listening to dad, then it is not Maya. It is all truth. No, it cannot be. We cannot have two different kind of things. So this is delusory in nature. What we think that is mine, one day will come to know that actually that is not mine. because that was never mine. Which is never mine, I consider that to be mine. And which I am not, I am considering that as myself. The body is never me. Body, we can tell my body, you can tell, but me body, we cannot tell. Because body is a thing that is created out of the food that we have eaten. We may tell that, okay, this is my hand and this is my leg and this is my teeth. The teeth what we have or the bones what we have is nothing but calcium. The milk what we have drank, that milk is that bone. That milk is this teeth. If you don't take milk, there will be no bone at all. No bone. All the zucchini and potatoes and the lasagnas, that is flesh. This flesh is that only. So it is all the whatever we see, and we put decoration and we put different kind of cream and different kind of color and different kind of dress. It is just food, anna. But we tell it is a thing that is taken from the nature. Food is always taken from the nature. So it belongs to nature. But I tell that it is me. It is me. So this is called delusion. So with this delusory understanding, delusion means a false understanding or false thinking, wrong thinking. And which is the mother of delusion is ignorance. Because of ignorance, we are deluded, and out of delusion, I am telling that I am the body and this is mine. With respect to outside things, I tell it is mine. The house is mine, car is mine, but I have not made that car at all. I don't know even a single part how it is created. I don't know. I have no knowledge regarding anything. But I will tell it is mine. The moment we tell it is mine, whatever we will tell as mine, that will be the cause for our problem. If something is not mine, it will not create any problem to us. Husband will have problem only from wife if he considers wife as mine. If he tries to own her, then all the wife's problems will be husband's problem. It will be immediately downloaded in him. Because he is making a connection that whatever the condition the wife is going through, that will be felt in him. Because now he has owned her. Same thing with the mother also. Mother will have all problems of the dad. If dad is going through something, then the mother will have the problem. Dad will not have the problem. If children are not doing well in the exam, then who will suffer? Not children. They will enjoy. But suffering will be by the parents. Because he is not keeping A grade. But the dad has a gold medalist all the time, straight A's. But the child, one day he kept one C grade, and that C grade that day will make that dad suffer like anything. That my child, I'm the gold medalist, all the time top, and how my son can be C grade? He will suffer. Actually, the son doesn't belong to him. Just because we are in one house, just because we are in one compartment for a little longer time, that's why somebody belongs to us. That is not true. That is the problem Arjuna had. Arjuna, actually, he is the greatest archer, and he has defeated all the Kauravas before. 3 times he has defeated. 3 times he has defeated before. But this time, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when he's coming and he's standing in front of them, something happened. Now his hands are shaking. He's not able to hold the bow. Forget putting the arrow, and forget targeting the destination. And he could not even hold his body. He just sat down, putting his hand on his forehead. And he's telling, how can I fight with my guru, my relatives, my cousins, my acharyas, my grandsire? How we can fight with them? They have not come here just to see you and tell bye-bye. They have come here to fight. But you took tax from all the people, and when you have to fight against adharma, not for fighting against people, fight against adharma, at that time you are bringing all the reasons not to fight and go to the forest. He's telling that it is better to live on begging and stay in the forest than to fight here with the cousins and rule the country which will be smeared with their blood. He's telling right. He's telling right. But it is a misplaced. It is he has no compassion for them. Actually, he wanted to fight. That's why he told Bhagavan Sri Krishna to come to the battlefield. Bhagavan Sri Krishna didn't lift him and brought to the battlefield. He told, and then he told Bhagavan Sri Krishna to be the charioteer. Bhagavan obeyed everything, like a driver. Whatever Arjuna told, he just listened to everything. But he has a delusion. After coming to the battlefield, he's telling it is all these things, mamata. It is called mamata. This mamata is because of asakti. Asakti. Asakti means it is a false relationship, a delusional relationship, which is not based upon the right understanding. We have a right relationship will always bring joy, will always bring closeness, will always create a lot of love, will always bring togetherness, will always bring harmony. That is called samparka. That is called samparka. If at any time we feel little discomfort in the relationship, know that we have asakti. We don't have. It is not based upon love. It is not based upon bhakti. It is not based upon true love. True love and bhakti both are same. It is based upon asakti. That's why when we have got asakti, we get burnt by the other person. That means we have given license to the other person to make me suffer. Like how I am holding a banner and standing on the roadside and proclaiming and inviting that come and create problem for me. Whenever we have got asakti, we give the license to everybody, the entire world, that here I am available, come and torture me, prosecute me. Not persecute me. That's why the world does that, because I am inviting that. The sun will persecute, even the dog will persecute. Dog will persecute too. Because our relationship is not right. Even our own brother and sister will also persecute us. If we don't have, I may tell that, okay, he's my sister, he's my brother, but I will have problem for each one of them. The sister will have problem for the brother will have problem, because that samparka is not based upon the conviction. It's not based upon sound understanding. It's just a false relationship, a give and take. What you will do for me, and I will do something for you. So that asakti was there in Arjuna. For that reason, he could not fight in the battlefield. He told, no, I will not fight at all. I will go away. It is better to stay in the forest than to fight with my own cousins. Do you know what Bhagavan told him to Arjuna? Plaibyam masmagamah partha, that you are becoming an important person. He told him very harsh words to Arjuna, because when somebody is in a critical disease, very severe disease, at that time surgery is needed. If you, like, suppose the child is putting his hand in the fire and will tell, beta, I love you, remove your hand, he will not leave if the hand will be burned. At that time, mom will go and give one thappad to the child and get out from here, because that is needed. At that time, if the dad will tell, don't tell, this is my child, don't tell him, let him, then he will be burnt. He will be burnt. So Arjuna needed really badly need of surgery. All the arteries were clogged. All that is only one artery, it was just blood, little blood was going. So Bhagavan told him very harsh words. So now he got up. He has never heard that word from Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Never. Then he was jolted little. He stood up. Previously he was telling that, okay, I'm sitting here. He stood up. Huh? What are you telling? Then of course he understood his mistake, that his mind is now being attacked by attachment. Asakti. Asakti. And that is because of that, he is not able to perform his duty. When there asakti is there, we will never be able to do the right thing for the person or for the place. Will not do, will do overdo. Many times we see that at home, now let's say mother, I'm just giving an example, it is not that accusing anybody or anything. Like mother will do a lot of things for the dad, everything. When dad gets up, mother will give the tea on the bed. And when he comes down from the bed, she will keep the chappal also below the foot. Okay. Then she will give water. Even the paste also she will put on the brush, either to the dad or to child also. Mother does everything. That is called overdoing. That is called overdoing. And children, they will sleep. They will make the bed dirty, and then mother will go and keep the bed. Will beg nicely. Children will come and they will throw that shoes in the garage. One will be north side, one will be south side, and the books will be just bag will be just thrown just like a like the cricket bat kind of thing. And then mom will go and arrange. She will complain and go and arrange. It's called overdoing. When we are asakti, we will not teach the other person to do the right thing. We'll make a habit to capture that person, to keep under our control. We'll do everything for that person, so that after some days, that person will be completely useless. Like how it happens, like when the girl gets married, she comes to the husband's place, and she will do everything for the husband. And after 1 year, now she knows, she has tested everything and everybody is in her hand now. At that time, she will tell that, honey, I am going to my parents' place. You will not believe this person will fall at her feet because he cannot live for 1 second. He's made so useless now because mother took all, so this is called asakti. That means mother didn't teach or mother didn't do her duty. She just wanted to keep this person in her hand. Same thing we do the children too. As parents, we do the same thing with the children. Children cannot, when they go to college, always you have to call them, beta, what did you eat? To the breakfast did you eat? Are you studying? Are you taking the milk today? Have you taken the medicine? And let them do. Let them do, but we will not allow, we cannot do our own things. We will not be able to do because all the time we think that what others are doing. Always we will call, we will keep a binocular and we will see everything. But this is called asakti. That is too much. One cannot do one's own duty. That's why Arjuna could not do his own duty. Why? He is really Kshatriya. He is a soldier. And in the battlefield, it is a fight not between two families, it is between Dharma and Adharma. And Bhagavan is taking the side of Dharma. And now Arjuna is telling that I will not fight. It is not a fight between two people, it is the Dharma has to prevail. Dharma has to be given importance. And at then when Bhagavan told him a little harshly, he gave him little harsh treatment, then he understood harsh treatment was not to harm him or anything, but just to that sluggishness, intellectual sluggishness, to remove that one. Then when he got up, he became a little alert. He was sleepy before. When he got up, then he realized his mistake and he told, Karpanya doso pahata svabhava. My mind is filled with pity. It is called misplaced pity. Karpanya dosa. Krupanata. Krupanata means like a miser. My intellect has become like a miser. It is not able to see the broad picture. It is only the small little things. Like how now, like let us say president in a country. Now suppose you have posted some judge, we want that judge to tell in favor of me. If the judge is telling something against me, then I'll know he is not a good person. Because it is mine, because it is mine, so my thing has to do everything for me. And that is, and that we want to, at home also we want everybody to do exactly, I want them to think as I think, I want others to do as I want to do, and that is not going to happen. So I suffer. This is called Krupanata. This is called consciousness, Conjusgiri in Hindi. It is like miserliness. My mind is not broad. I am not able to, I am not allowing everybody to function in their own way. I am not ready to give freedom. A mango tree should produce mangoes. Suppose I will tell that, I don't have pumpkin, so you produce pumpkin. Mango tree cannot produce pumpkin. But I want everybody to behave as I want. Exactly, Arjuna, it is not the battle we are learning. We are learning how Arjuna's tendency to make everybody to think like him, do like him, that was the cause for all problems. That was the cause for his weakness. He was feeling weak. But he recognized, and at the end, he did the right thing, what Bhagavan told he did. So that's why it is called Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. There are two Kshetras, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra means the field of action. The field of action should be the field of righteousness. It should be the field of righteousness too. When we are working at home, we are working in the office, but that is for a righteous purpose. It is not just earning money, whatever way. No, it should be for righteousness. Righteousness means how I will be right within, how everything will be all right within, how I will not suffer within. That is called a right kind of atmosphere I will create within myself. While working in the world, I should not lose that. My mind should not be filled with tensions and worries and anxieties. No, it is filled with joy, inspiration, devotion, love for everybody, helping everybody. Only that can be done only when we are working. When the family, when we are working for everybody, to inculcate these values within ourselves, then we are doing dharma. If we are working for everybody and creating tensions for ourselves, then it's called adharma. It's called adharma. So Bhagavan told Arjuna to act in such a way so that he will be integrated within. He will be discover the happiness within. He will feel that greatness of being a human within. And this is a simple message from Bhagavad Gita. So that is called loving ourselves. If we love ourselves, we love the entire world. That's called bhakti. And this is some small message from Bhagavad Gita, whatever I have learned, I shared with you. And now we'll go to the next item.